my podcast, Brandy was like, look, I ain't taking, Brandy was, everyone listened. She was like, I'm not taking anything away from Vanderpump Rules, but she's like, I think I deserve a big paycheck for that first episode. Brandy led into Vanderpump Rules. She did. I mean, okay, it's Lisa and a bunch of hot young things sleeping with each other. I mean, also, let's just say Candy tried this. Candy tried the show. It didn't work. Southern Hospitality just tried this with Leva. TBD whether that's coming back. They have tried to recreate this Vanderpump Rules magic, and it hasn't really happened.
It's lightning in a bottle. You know this. It's lightning in a bottle. So many reality shows, try to launch and all this stuff. And look, I'll tell you, being out here as a reality TV producer, it's taking years for it to all happen. But anyway, I'm learning a lot. The thing that you hear all the time in these pitch meetings with all these major networks is we want a real friend group. We want a real friend group. Now, even with Vanderpump Rules, a lot of friends have come into the circle. Obviously Raquel came in a couple of years ago, but I mean, there are they've a lot of them have been friends for a decade, I mean, like Peter, Peter being on the scene for years. He talked about he and Sandoval went out for years as actual restaurant workers. They were managers, they were bartenders. I mean, that's what reality TV wants. So what they have is lightning in a bottle. I see that season now getting renewed for 3 seasons. It's the best thing Lisa Vanderpump is winning.
Listen. Lisa, I mean, I'm being really serious. Like, first of all, I mean, I ran into her in the Hamptons last year, and I've seen her many other times. To me, she looks, I mean, I think Girlfriend might have had a little something. She looked so refreshed on this episode. She looked like she's, I mean, I don't think she's on the shot, but she looked maybe like she's like dropped a few. She, without gloating, was just like, listen, there's something to be said when it's like, look, Beyonce doesn't worry about Solange, right? There's something to be said when you are not the one being talked about. Like, if Beyonce wasn't in the spotlight for, the next 9 months and it was all about Solange, Beyonce wouldn't sweat it, because all she has to do is come back and make one appearance and be like, yeah, that's how, to me, Lisa Vanderpump's, watch whether you love her or hate her. First of all, she comes on, they're talking about Rinna, and she's like, well, Rinna was fired, which we all know. This is why
she asks Andy.
Yeah.
She goes, now, what was the deal, darling? Was Lisa fired or did she leave? And Andy goes, I can't talk about that. And Lisa goes, exactly. She was fired because nobody leaves that show. And it's so great. It's like Andy Cohen won't say a word. It's great. So, I mean, you've always, by the way, just to go back to that, because we talk about so many things, you think Rinna was fired, right? That's your stance?
Well, here's, because, I've shared some news with you. Should I share my Lisa Rinna privacy news on this podcast? What I'd say. I have officially been, now here's the thing about life, guys. When someone blocks you, like, you don't know it until you're like going and looking for them. So, like, again, I am on a Patreon podcast every weekend where Kim D gives it to Teresa and Melissa. And it's like, Teresa and Melissa know me. They have physically met me so many times. I have been voicing my own opinion on Melissa, that this is her last season. And yet, like, I'm not blocked by Melissa Gore. Like, there are legitimate people that should block me. Jennifer Aiden blocked me, and that's almost valid because we used to be best friends. And I am going to reveal this whole reason why Jennifer Aiden and I fell out at the live show on 4/18.
Wow, I don't even know this story. Okay.
Oh, Jennifer Aiden and I were like, I was at her house like every weekend. We had a falling out way back. So she blocked me. That makes sense. And I had a big thing with Dorinda. Dorinda hasn't blocked me. I haven't blocked her, but I'm going to talk about that at the live show on 4/18 with Kim D. But so but then, like, one day, I think I told you, like, I was like, why has Jen Shah blocked me? Like, it's like, I haven't, now I say horrible things about Jen. Listen, once you block me, great, because now it's like, I don't have to worry or even tread lightly. But so, like, Lisa blocked me, and like, it's within the past 3 weeks. And like, I was like, why? I love Melrose Place. Like, I kind of like Lisa Rinna. And I think, because eventually you start to think of a reason, I think because I put all the videos, and I think because I've had headlines like Lisa Rinna was fired from Beverly Hills. So to answer your question, she was
Yeah.
100%. I'm like, I think that's why she probably blocked me. Because look, I speak the truth here. I don't care if my thing here is, you say you're either of the people or of the business. I am of the people. I am. Someone DM'd me the other day and they're like, oh, Heather McDonald. Now, I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this. I have no problem with Heather. Someone DM'd me, I don't listen to Juicy Scoop anymore. Heather's so desperate to be famous. She thinks this, she's that. Listen, I am not saying this. Someone DM me this. And I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, that really is the thing. I'm really of the people. I care about the behind the velvet rope listeners. I don't need any fucking friends. I don't like, I love these people.
And
Really.
knowing you behind the scenes, that is really true. And like I said, one of the reasons I love partnering with you too is your interviews are about the person, not a lot. It's why I cannot listen to Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert. I don't know if anybody listens to that, but it is all about him and all his neuroses and his narcissism and his, and I love somebody that's sober and I obsessed with AA. I love it's all about him, no matter how big the fucking guest is. I can't listen anymore. Your interviews, why I love your show, it's never about you. And you've taught me, when you're interviewing someone, shut up. Let them talk. And most people do not do that. It's all about them, including myself and Dax Shepard.
Right. And like here, listen, a lot of people are like, David, we're sick of this. You have to reveal something. People actually want me to talk about myself. Here it's different. Here I'll share things, and I'll share things on the Patreon with Kim. But yeah, when you're like a one-time guest, I mean, we have a ton of guests back, but when you're the guest, yeah, it's not about me. Every now and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I like do that too. But yeah, it should never be about you. You ask the question, and then you have to be comfortable with silence. People are uncomfortable with silence. As an interviewer, you should never, I don't care if we sit here for 7 minutes in dead silence. I mean, I really have nothing to say. I just asked you a question. I'm sitting here waiting for your answer. So is there a pulse? Is this mic on? You ask the question, you shut the fuck up. And if they're staring at you, I will stare right back at you. Answer the fucking question. And someone could say that, but like, and then when they're answering, shut the fuck up. You have given them the rope to hang themselves. And you are literally like, just do it. Because that is what these lovely people listening want. They want the tea. And anything you interject is going to take away from whatever it is that they were saying. And the first 7 sentences were boring as fuck. But when you're still shut your mouth by the 8th sentence or the 9th sentence, oh man, I didn't expect that. And everyone listening is like, what? There's your lesson of the day. So thank you. But it is true. It's not about me when you're doing an interview. It's just not. And I really don't care if I have friends. It's these lovely people listening are my friends, and it's certainly not. So if Lisa Rinna wants to block me, by all means, block me. I don't care, because I'm sharing the honest truth with these lovely people that are listening, that are like paying